so I can test Discord. I've got 4 cameras in this flipping house and can't find a single one of them right now.
You had a week. Okay, we're gonna start, guys. You ready?
Sure.
Focused. Stream of the podcast. Pre-production meeting for a podcast we're all going to start next week. Now, the first point of interest is the podcast name. Is everybody on board with 4 idiots and a guest?
Sounds good.
Now's the time to change it. We can't go back.
I mean, if we can come up with something better within a week, I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it.
All right.
I don't hate it.
I need
am
to
I
leave.
an idiot? Sometimes.
See, yeah, that's like the gamer that says I suck. If somebody calls us an idiot in the comments, it's like, yeah, that's the title, dumbass. Of course I'm an idiot. I admit it freely. BC, you probably heard that we're going to be all 4 co-hosts. No one's the leader, and every decision we make about the podcast has to be unanimous. If 3 people want to do it, 1 doesn't, we're not doing it. I don't want anyone to feel not comfortable with anything that we do. So everyone's got to be 100% on board with all the decisions we got coming up. So speak up if you have an issue. You get a better idea, please. I'm open for suggestions. I sketched down some ideas. If you don't like it or think you can do something better, please speak up. I will change it in a heartbeat. We'll vote on it and say, yeah, that's much better. Okay, so the name is taken care of. That's a working title until next Monday. Give it some thought, guys. BC, this question's for you. How are we going to do this? We're going to use Discord? Are we going to all stream it at the same time? What's going on? What do you think? I'm not technical.
So here's the thing. And this could be, I mean, so all of us have computers. All of us have the PlayStations. We can run Discord. But the problem is Discord, from what I can tell, it looks like it might run a little bit better or a little bit faster if we're using a PC to do all of that.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get it situated, which is why I was looking for my camera. So I'm going to do a little bit more testing.
Got a week.
But yes, we can. We can actually, if we can run Discord, it'll actually separate and everybody can share their cameras and everything all on Discord.
All right. I got a Chromebook. I hope that's good enough. I do Zoom meetings on it, so I assume it's okay.
Yeah, that should be fine. The only really thing that I was looking at is because I have my computer, but it's never ever hooked up. So I was just trying to see if we could do it on Discord through the PlayStation if necessary, just to make it easier instead of everybody having to stream their own thing. I mean, yes, views-wise, if everybody streams, then it's out there more. But, yeah. So, Discord is an option because from what I could read, Discord can actually handle up to 9 different videos.
Okay.
Or something like that. So
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. I mean, we need five boxes, and you can probably put them where you want. And I've seen podcasts where Discord went down and they had to reboot it, which is something we have to deal with. Technology and computers, something's going to go wrong eventually.
Yeah.
But work on that, BC. Mean, that's your homework.
Either one of those would be options, but Discord, since it has the ability to handle that many videos, it should be fine. It's just seeing if we can run it on the PlayStation, and mine could be slowed down right now because I'm using the party chat. So after I pull out party chat, it might actually speed up and make using Discord easier. And then we would just have to, get together, back out of party chat and go in that way. So I'll do some testing, but Discord is a viable option. And then of course, if we can't get it the way that we want, we can always switch to the everybody stream or whatever.
Right. Now, the next question I'm going to propose to you guys is, do we want to have our video posted on YouTube or Twitch or both? Is both an option? I don't have a Twitch account. I can't go to Twitch.
I don't have Twitch either. I have YouTube.
I got YouTube. I'm comfortable with YouTube. But I mean, if we can do both, I mean, I don't know if we can.
I mean, if whoever's in the video has a Twitch, because you can have a Twitch and a YouTube. I don't have a Twitch. All I have is YouTube.
We can stick with YouTube. We can go old school. We're not kids. We can do YouTube. Okay,
there we go.
Next point, we have to decide on now going forward. Do we want this family friendly? I mean, our first probable guest is going to be 13. I don't want the F-bomb dropped left and right if we don't have to do it. Other podcasts just talk how they talk. They don't care. But if we want to censor ourselves, I'm okay with it. Pretend you're at work with a customer maybe, and keep your language clean. That's just a question we have to address. Thoughts? You're not playing Crucible, Selena. Okay, you're not doing trials.
I'm not. Are you
No,
sure?
no, no. But you're just talking to friends.
Trials was canceled this weekend anyway.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh.
So I mean, hell and damn, and maybe occasional shit would be okay. Like
F-bombs.
Destiny 2 sucks shit. That's probably going to come up. But the F-bomb and C word, I want no part of.
Oh God, when have you ever heard me use the C word?
I've heard podcasts use it.
Oh, that's fine. But
Well, I mean, I watched the Destiny Down Under podcast. They're Australian.
No. And they
F-bomb
have a
and
different
C word
relationship
are
with
like,
the C word.
yeah, they're like that's the
They
and
love
and
each other.
in their world.
Yes, they love each
The
other.
F-bomb is the C word is and they just keep talking. It's an adjective, it's an adverb, it's a noun, it's everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go clean. We'll try to.
I mean, relatively, you might have to remind me from time to time.
I can't edit, so I don't know how to edit anything. Everything I do is live. If I screw up, I screw up. It's all live. Okay. Next point of interest. I want to give everybody a task to do during the podcast. We're going for a half hour at first. If we like it, we can go to an hour. That's fine. But I was looking at it. If you guys disagree with any of this, now's the time to bring it up. I don't want to. We can change anything in the future we want. But I mean, just for right now, I'm thinking about having Spike be the intro person to start the podcast off. I would like BC to do the interview, and Selena, I'd like you to do the exit person. Like, okay, we're out of time, guys. Tell everybody where they can find you, and name us out. Spike, BC, Shady, where can we find you? Then we give us our YouTube channel thingies.
I'm sure there's going to be a meow meow in there. She's not going to be able to say.
We haven't got to that part yet. We haven't got to that. BC, you're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead. We got to work on you. You're the problem. I have
All
a
right, meow meows.
Okay. And exit person, I want to be. If we try it, I mean, I want everyone to have a role. I'm going to kind of facilitate things because of my experience with the question of the day. I'm going to make sure everybody answers the question that was asked. That's hard to keep track of when you're trying to think of an answer, but I'm a natural at it. So if I go, Selena, after the question was asked, and then I go BC, then Spike, and then the guest, and then I go whatever, I'll just make sure the questions get answered. Okay. Up next, the intro. Spike can come up with a clever intro if he wants. I'm thinking, hey, welcome to Destiny 2 podcast, 4 idiots and a guest. I'm the first idiot, Spike. Second idiot, BC. Introduce yourself, and you do. But BC, Selena and I both have intros for us. So if I said, and welcome Selena, she'd go meow meow. And here's Shady. Guess who's back? And BC, what can we do for your intro? We gotta work on that. I mean, I usually give everybody their intro, so I could just work on you. I mean, what would BC go? I mean, BC. Give some thought. We don't have to do this now. I mean, I don't want to have this be a 2-hour meeting.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'd have to.
But Selena and the Meow Meow, she could become famous with that because a lot of the podcasts have a little go-to line, and Meow Meow's perfect for all of them.
Jeez.
It is. It's great. It's perfect.
I'm serious. Like the meow meow's great.
It
like,
is.
Majority of the time you say it, it's
spot on, and we know what you're talking about. It's a magic phrase.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
It's all in context, so.
So yeah, and here's idiot number 3, Selena.
Meow meows.
Next thing I want to talk about, a lot of I don't want to copy the other podcasts, even the successful ones. I want us to be different. But when the guest is introduced, they have a question, a generic question for every guest. Like DCP does, what's your favorite beverage at Snake? random, and they ask every guest that's the first question they ask
Beverage
every
and
guest.
snake.
Yes, which I've used as a question of the day before. I stole it from them.
Beverage and snake.
See, it's so random that you wouldn't put those two together ever, but
Nah.
that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about keeping it Destiny related. What's your main and best accomplishment in Destiny? One or two. I mean, that gives them a chance to let us know if they're an asshole Titan or a stupid Warlock before we even start the conversation, and we'll know how to pigeonhole them. But if they're a Titan, they're fine.
And I think you should switch that around. I think it should be stupid Titan, asshole Warlock.
Oh, done. Rubber stamp
if
that,
we're
baby.
gonna be something, Titans eat crowns. Come on, that's got to do something to the brain, right?
We can go, what's your main and what's your best accomplishment in Destiny? What are you most proud of that you've done in Destiny? Something like that. But at BC, that's going to be up to you because you're the interviewer. I wanted somebody that can think on their feet and are intelligent, and that instantly disqualified me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got to think about the question for the guest.
That does sound like a good question.
I feel like we'd probably tailor the question to the guest.
Well, the guests are going to supply us with the questions.
Or at least somewhat tailor it to it, like,
We're gonna give them
if
softballs.
we happen to be interviewing a chick gamer, then we might ask different questions.
Yes, but in the pre-production meeting with the guests, we're going to say, what 3 questions do you want BC to ask you? Because they're going to have good answers or want that question. If I was going to be a guest, I would want, how long have you been playing Destiny? And I'd say, since D1, I got almost 10,000 hours in the game. Any accomplishments? Yeah, 3 million kills on my account, 2 million as Arc Strider. And obviously you're a hunter, right? And yes. And then we move on. Those are 3 questions. And now I'm the 5th host if I was the guest. And the guest answers all the questions that come up. Okay, BC and I talked about this the other day. With a half-hour format, we cannot do the question of the day because that can go on up to an hour. Maybe if you go to an hour, we can put it in. I was thinking about the word of the day. Now, Selena, I need some input from you on this. Spike speaks Spanish. BC knows a lot of Japanese. I know sign language. Is there a second language you could probably pipe in on for the word of the day?
French I took in high school and college, so, that would be the only foreign language that I would be even remotely comfortable.
Okay, and how soon would you need that word of the day?
How soon could I come up with it?
No, if I told you on Wednesday, the following Monday, or can you do it in the pre-production meeting on Monday? Come up with the word and say cool, or do you have to look it up and whatever? I think we want to do the same word for all of us, just in 4 different languages.
Oh, well, yeah. It's called Google Translate.
Okay. Well, I just thought it would make us look like that we were smarter than we are. That's what I thought. And
no,
I'm thinking,
as far as pronunciation goes, yes, I've got the.
And would you guys think it'd be
French.
cool if we did the word of the day and then use it in a sentence? Would that think that would help anybody or people? We're just showing off, or just like a minute segment.
I think using it in a sentence might be optional if you can come up with a sentence that is, I don't know, adequately entertaining.
Okay, well, this is my idea. So I'm going to pick the first word. It's going to be sign.
As in,
there's a stop sign.
Okay.
And of course, my sign means that's the language I'm speaking. And I'm going to use the sentence. I know a little bit of sign language. So, question of the days are good to go. Spike's, that's an easy one for Spike. He speaks English perfectly, but first language is Spanish. Both him and his dad speak English wonderfully. They're gifted. Okay, we're getting down the list. This is nice. Let's see. The next one would be the actual podcast, the actual structure of the podcast. Spike would do the intro. He would introduce the guest, and then he would introduce us first, and we'd all have our tagline, meow meow, guess who's back, something cool for BC, and introduce the guest, and then BC would interview the guest. That would be the first 10 minutes. We'd go slow and not, just add more comments to the questions, the guest answers. We could have more questions. Like if TARDIS is on. My question is going to be, do you have any plans in the future to work in the gaming industry? And he'll answer it. And I say, have you ever made money playing a video game? And I know the answer because I already gave him money to do stuff for me. So that could be his answer. The next 10 minutes, I'm looking at Destiny questions. What's going on in Destiny? What you're doing? Your thoughts, views? What do you feel about things? Where's the state of it? And if all 5 of us go 2 minutes each, that's 10 minutes. And the last segment, I have no freaking idea. What do you want to do for the last segment, the last 10 minutes? You can give us some thought. I'm open for anything. I mean, we just play off what happened the first 20 minutes and keep it going. I don't know. But Destiny has to be... I don't want to be a general podcast, like a gamers podcast, because no one's going to find it. And there are a lot of Destiny podcasts out there, but the community is 25 million people, so there needs to be a lot of podcasts out there. Last segment, I mean, the first one we could go over how'd you get your name, kind of thing. What's your most proud accomplishments in the game? What do you think should be better in the future? I mean, we could a whole bunch of generic questions out there. But give us some thought, guys. Give us some thought. I mean, we got 10-minute spot to fill.
Right.
And in the beginning, when we get introduced, we want to, do a tagline and like tell everybody where we are on the world. And we'll say, guess who's back? I'm Shady. I'm out of New York, not city, state. I'm near the PA border, in the middle of state. That's where I'm out of. And then everybody else goes because it shows the diversity of where we live. It's not like we're neighbors.
Selena Meow Meow.
Selena Meow Meow is in Iowa. Okay, think about the last segment.
Is it BC Tayman the Man? That's corny.
We'll work on that. I'll come up with something. I'll give you like 3 choices in a day or 2. I'll have something to do at work. Okay, now I don't know how you guys feel about this. I just have an idea. This is late last night. I kind of maybe want us to go positive and not really put Bungie down. Be like the Dude Perfect of the podcast. I mean, clean language, kid safe. You come home from church, you pop on the podcast, and you get to watch us be nice.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it's just, it was a very specific image that you put in my head.
Okay, you want to share?
No.
All right.
Okay.
See, now, Dude Perfect was brilliant because they did the opposite of Jackass. Jackass was popular, and they're like, they're all Christians, and they wanted they wanted to do something just the opposite of Jackass, and they only have 50 million views on every video they do in like an hour. So that's a good formula right there. It's a good test model.
I mean, it's really simple. Like the good thing, or maybe there you go. Also for the last segment, if you want to keep it positive, what keep like. And I don't know how many times we could use this one for the last segment, but having the new people in, this could help. Like, what keeps you coming back to Destiny?
Okay.
Because, I mean, Destiny has already survived one Destiny killer. There's been
more than one.
There's been plenty of, bad things that happen, but, I've played since D1, you've played since D1. Like, we've all kind of played since D1, so why do we keep coming back? Like, the community or the friends that we made, or
sure.
I
want to keep it video game focused on the last segment. I'm thinking also, what game made you a gamer and why? Have you always been a gamer your whole life, or did one game turn everything around? I think that's
I came out of my mama's womb holding a Nintendo controller.
No. That was an extra contraction there.
But yeah, I mean, but there you go. That's a good one. That's a good one to say coming into it. Like, have you always been a game man? I came out the womb with the controller in hand.
Seriously though, do you remember like the Nintendo controller, like the perfect little rectangle thing, and like how the difference, like it never ceases to amaze me, like the difference between
the plus
that
sign
controller...
and 2 buttons.
No. I mean just like ergonomically. Like,
Okay, yeah,
who
yeah.
thought that this little triangle, like, or not triangle, this little rectangle controller was anywhere easy to hold? Like, and then I don't know, just
Well, I
between
mean,
the
it's a
difference
little
between
bit.
that and like my PlayStation controller, it's just,
It's a little bit better than the square box that you had for the Atari with your one button
oh
joystick. Like
yeah,
that box was.
for
Yeah, that
sure.
was
But I mean,
innovative then.
for what it was, like what you needed it for, you needed your thumb to push the button and your other hand to, like, that was, I mean, relatively ergonomic. It's a round little joystick thing, whatever. Um, but I cannot tell you how many times, like, my fingers would cramp from like the tightness that I'm holding that little Nintendo controller, and like how much I would like burn the top of my freaking index finger's nail off from like going back and forth between the AB
The
buttons, like
buttons,
for
or
like it was
getting
track and field. I'm pretty
frustrated
sure
and
that did that to me. It was the track and
getting.
field like game.
Well, see, I had the power pad for track and field, but getting frustrated and like holding the controller so tight you can start hearing it crack a little when you're
Yeah,
pressing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
the little line in between like the two.
This is
Yeah,
a
like
conversation we need to save
you
for
could
the
squeeze it.
podcast because all of us gamers think if you push the button harder, something better is
It's
going to
true.
happen.
It does. Like you jump higher or you run faster. It's true.
Which they finally did put that into the controllers. They did do pressure sensitive controllers.
All right, well, the last thing I want to talk about is what we're doing now is not what I want in the podcast. Can't all talk at once. We have to take turns. I mean, if you have something to comment, and if you see all of our cameras, all of us are on the screen. If somebody wants, chime in, raise your hand, or make a gesture, or wait till someone else is done talking and then jump in. I know we're all polite with each other, like, oh, you go ahead, no, you go ahead, and then that's fine. But just kind of remember that this isn't a casual party; it's actually a structured event, and try to be professional. And I'm acting like I'm in charge. God damn it, I'm not. All right, BC, what do you want? What do you want to go over? You got any ideas? What do you want to do? What do you want to tweak? What do you want to change? I mean, I'm up for anything. These are just my notes from last night. I just scribbled some stuff down.
I think maybe using the pre-production meeting for that last 10 minutes to come up with maybe a different segment for each of the last 10 minutes, maybe throwing something in there, because having something like a lot of the stuff in the conversation based on the questions are going to kind of maybe go different ways, and maybe using the
Hmm.
production meeting when we're hearing those questions would allow us to come up with something for that last 10 minutes. That way every single segment is not the same every single time. It throws a little bit of variety but still allows for the structure.
Okay. Selena, any ideas? With anything that I just went over in the last half hour?
Right, fine. Yeah, I like the idea of like changing the last 10-minute segment up. Like, it doesn't have to be the same thing. Like maybe just small differences. Uh, what the fuck? This is pissing me off. Sorry, I went on to my Warlock for the first time and I'm getting the cutscene. And this is the second time that like my audio is gone from the little scene from freaking Keitel and Zavala. Like,
Okay.
there's no dialogue audio, and
A,
it's pissing me
a,
off.
a suggestion for the first
Rock.
podcast number one, the last segment. Why are we doing this?
Okay.
For fun for ourselves.
Right.
Well, my answer is going to be, well, I noticed that every time BC and Spike and I get into a party, my side hurts the next morning from laughing so damn hard. And then I figured, well, we need some eye candy and someone to keep us in line. So that was obviously Selena,
Oh, jeez.
obviously.
Also, I was gonna like ask, like, would it be possible, or did you want to during this podcast, like, have us actually be in a fire team, like, together, like, either in the tower or someplace else, where more than three people are.
If we're doing Discord, no, because we're going to be on our PCs, and we'll just be our face looking at the camera. If
I
we
don't want to.
if we each stream, I mean, right now
Yeah.
I'm streaming right now, and I have my hunter spinning his arc staff by the tree in the tower
Hmm.
because I didn't want to just be in orbit. Like most of my videos that I just talk over, I'm just in orbit. I just have some motion going on right now. It's a nice backdrop, and I like the shaders on my armor. And it's just, he's just spinning this arc strap, minding his own business, going, when the hell is Shady going to shut up so I can stop doing this?
So that sounds good. I mean, that helps us solve the problem, at least for the time being, with what platform we're going to use. Um, with that being the case, so we're not just ourselves. We can record and have our screens going. So that takes out, at least for right now, it takes out Discord. Um, so that makes things a bit easier in that aspect. Like that narrows down one of our
Well, I think I
questions.
prefer to do Discord. It looks much more professional if you have all 5 of our faces on the same screen. If it's possible, if it's gonna cost money or take way too much effort, I got no problem with all 4 of us streaming the same podcast.
Hold on, give me a second.
Which reminds me of my next item. When we're doing the podcast, turn off your fucking phone. How about that?
Oh, it's so
Okay.
loud.
Anybody else got anything else you want to talk about? Concerns? BC, I talked to Quad last night. He's thinking over willing to be a guest and talk about his situation, how challenging it is to game from a wheelchair. And he may be inspirational to other handy, capable people out there.
Absolutely.
And he does know one other person that he games with that's also in a wheelchair. But I turned over. I don't know. Seems like why I'm in charge. I turned over booking guests to
Sorry,
BC because he's the interviewer.
that was the only reason my phone was still on for that was because I was going to try to pull Tardis into the meeting because we were looking at him as being the first guest, but he
Okay.
had to eat dinner when we
All
were
right.
starting the meeting. So
Ah.
that was
Yeah.
him letting me know that he was done with dinner. But since we're almost done with the meeting, I wasn't trying to pull him in because by the time he logs in and everything, it's
Okay.
Yeah.
so I'll just catch up with
DC,
him
did you hear what I said
afterwards.
about Quad?
Yes, he is
Okay.
contemplating
I couldn't
being a
lock him in,
guest.
but he was leaning toward a soft yes. But the order that we do all of our friends in the beginning is up to you. Now, if you want to do Dread and Mish and TDS and Envious and Noob and Quad, and then go from there. And we may find that one of the guests is like really awesome, and we can bring them back every now and then. Or if we need a substitute co-host, if one of us has something going on and we can't make it, we can just go, Dread, you're really good last time you're on. Can you fill in for me this meeting? This is what you have to do, and we can just go from there. Because all of us aren't going to be here every time, and we can do it with 3 idiots. We can do 3 idiots, I think.
Sounds good.
But
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
some people,
Um,
when they get in the spotlight, like it's like public speaking, they're good in a party. They're shooting shit, they're firing back insults. But then they get on a forum where they think maybe 100 people are gonna see this, and they kind of tighten up a little bit. We got to avoid that. We have to give them softballs to answer the questions and then keep them going. But think about the word of the day and what we can do. Um, think about what you want to say when you're introduced, and we'll just keep plugging along with some Destiny questions.
okay, so
Again,
with Discord, I will because we should be able to share screen as well as have camera
yeah, I can
with
stream. I can stream
Discord.
and then do Discord. Those are 2 separate items.
Well, they can actually both be done through Discord. You can share your screen through Discord as well as your camera, but I'll look and see how that works with playing on the PlayStation. But like I said, one of the things that I'm probably going to want to do is like back out of the party, so I'm just doing it to see how it handles. Because I think Discord, we can't use a Discord app on PlayStation, which means it has to be run in the browser.
Okay.
So I'm not sure
What
how well
what I'm
that will
thinking about
work.
doing is I'll have Discord on my Chromebook, and then I will stream on the PlayStation. It's totally different operations.
We could do that. We could do it that way. I could move my computer in here and use. Yeah, I could use the camera on that and
I
then
mean, all
stream.
4 idiots are streamers, so we could all stream it and Discord it. That would give everybody 5 different ways to find us. I would say if they wanted to, but again, I've got videos with more views than I ever thought possible for stuff that I didn't really think anyone would care about.
No.
There you go. There's my first answer. I pushed Shady to start streaming, and he did, and so I had to keep supporting.
I talked to Quad last night. He's a subscriber. I was surprised.
But it's also fun.
Yeah, we're doing it for us. I mean, if we don't have fun, why would possibly, if it starts to become work, we're gonna stop.
I mean,
If we don't laugh most of the time, then why bother wasting the half hour a week? Let's just go do a strike.
bless
Bless
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, no. I'm trying to think if there's anything else note-wise. I mean,
But you got a week to think about it. I think our first pre-production meeting should be a half hour before the podcast, because we may have a lot to go over. If you're going to change the name, if we got to get, if who the guest is and what questions we're going to ask them, and what order we're doing things in. Just because Spike wasn't here, I feel confident if we did a podcast in 20 minutes from now, I think we'd be okay. But if it's not smooth, we can do a pilot. And if we don't like it, we can delete it and do another pilot. Or we can just leave our mistakes for everyone to see and move forward.
pretty much. I mean, if it's bad, it's bad. But I mean, once again, we're doing it for ourselves. And hey, if people start watching it, they may see some growth.
And I'm thinking, Selena, like your last line to end the podcast is, "All right, have a good day, guys, and we'll try to do better next time."
Nah.
Or anything clever you can come up with. That's your segment, so I'm not going to infringe my will on your segment. Do whatever you want. We're all equals. Say 4 people rowing the boat in the same direction.
Oh.
So, BC, thought on our
Yay.
second guest.
We're now on crew.
Who's our second guest going to be,
Stroke.
BC? You gotta keep looking forward. You think Noob would do it? And talk about his issues?
Still working on Noob. Noob is really uncomfortable about talking about his issues.
Okay, yeah. That's how I
so-
approached him.
Still working on Noob.
Dread was I did a video with Dread about the season of the hunt, and he was a decent co-host. He was a little soft-spoken, but he was a good co-host. We had a lot of good ideas, and he kept up with me. So he's a possibility. I wouldn't mind TDS because I don't want
Yeah.
Envious on because we're gonna have if we have TARDIS on, I don't want 2 teenagers on back-to-back weeks. We're gonna be like
Back-to-back,
pigeonholed
yeah.
into the having teenagers on. That's a squeaker podcast. No, we maybe TDS talk about how he balances his life as a police officer with gaming, and he has a son that games is in the same party a lot. I mean, does he act different when his son's in the party? I know his son acts different when he's in the party. He really loosens up when his dad's not around.
And then, of course, we could also throw in there VA's kind of cool and
Yeah.
as another lady gamer,
Absolutely.
and having that thrown out there. Trying to think of other guests.
Well, I mean, if you think of 4, that's a whole month. We don't have to get 10 lined up.
True.
We just need like 1 for the next week, and then 1 for that next week.
Maybe seeing. I know we still kind of have it separated, but I'm sure it may possibly come up that we're all in the same clan. So maybe one of the clan admins or something, somebody who started the clan or was at the clan at the beginning, like not DoD in itself, but our
Yeah,
branch
that
of
clan's
DoD.
6 years old.
Yeah, but
And
our
there was a
branch of
DoD
DoD.
podcast at one time. They
But I
disbanded
do-
about 5 years ago.
I do remember you and I having a conversation and worrying about throwing too much of that in there because it's our podcast.
Yeah.
And-
You don't want to alienate the viewers. You don't want to say, "Oh, I'm not in Dad's Destiny. I hate those guys."
Yeah, so I don't know.
And
about
a
that.
possible subject for the last segment would be, what part of Destiny do you thrive at? Are you a Crucible person? Do you like Gambit? Do you raid? Are you a PvE person?
I like it all.
That's an answer. That is an answer.
Sounds like a greedy woman to me.
Yeah.
That's like
Variety
that's
is
like
the
4 of my
spice of
children.
life.
You can't pick one. Or what's your
Everybody
special
has a
skill
favorite
set?
child. They just don't say it.
Yeah, no, my daughter's awesome. My 3 boys, I mean, my answer would be, what's your special skill in Destiny? I'd say, well, I'm a PvE guy and I'm a farmer. If you need any kind of resource anywhere in the solar system, let me know. I'll tell you the quickest way to get it. And then, Sleela, you shred everywhere, so you like have gun will travel. And of course, like Envious would be, I'm a Crucible guy. But if that's all you got, guys, I mean, we can wrap this up. We don't have to leave the party, but we can just wrap up this meeting. So I'll stop streaming.
Like I'm kind of like, I guess in that situation, it's like I'm kind of the casual guy that doesn't want to be casual, but life happens. And the changes in the game. Like what was it, 2 years ago? I really wanted to be more competitive in Crucible, and then just so many changes happened where I barely touch Crucible now. Sad face.
I don't Crucible so much. I have to pay your son to do it for me. That's how much I hate the Crucible. I'm willing to spend actual real dollars, real world dollars, on Crucible kills. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. That's the Destiny 2 podcast pre-production meeting is officially over.